Hi everybody, Karen Rao Carter here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about arthritis. Aching joints are the worst, so we want to make sure we've got you covered from a Feng Shui perspective. Now, most of the time people I hear about are with their hips, their knees, or their wrists or hands most likely. So I wanted to hold up the Bagua here by using the cover of my book, and the door of your room or the door of your house always falls along the bottom. So if we're walking in the room and we're walking in the house, this is how we would end up traversing, right? So from a Feng Shui perspective, the prosperity area, which is you walk all the way in your room and go towards the back left, that governs the hips. So if you've got aching hips, look in the back left area of your house for something. I'm going to give you some things to look for in a second. Number two, if you have knee issues, I'd look around, halfway back on the left in the family gua, for those of you who know about the Bagua. Halfway back on the left governs sort of knees, feet, of course, added in there. So it's like hips, knees, feet. And then the hands are when you walk in the door of your room or home and immediately go to the left. That is the hand and wrist area. So I'm just giving you those. There's plenty of other stuff you can find out about where to look in the Bagua for certain body parts, but those are like the main ones that I hear quite often. Let's talk about the stuff in your house that you might consider looking at, no matter where it is in the house, but especially in the parts of the house that are governed by that body part. Door knobs, getting a handle on it, right? So we're looking for things where your particular body parts touch. So handles, doorknobs, hinges. Oh my gosh, they're supposed to be flowing, right? The hinges in your home are equivalent to the hinges of your body parts. So let's make sure they're oiled and working well and not out of balance where the door is sort of flopping open, creating an imbalanced situation. There's imbalance in your house, there's imbalance in your life. So we want to make sure that we are all oiled up, lubed up, and you're in balance. Let's see, if the doors are hitting each other, normally we look at that as like bickering in the house, but if you have doors that hit, you might want to consider, especially if the handles hit, you might want to consider changing those doors or doing something. That the Feng Shui cure for arguing doors is to hang a red ribbon, tie a little red bow on both doorknobs, and then there's a red ribbon between the two, and you cut the ribbon, and with the intentions that these two doorknobs know that they're now friends and they're not going to be banging into each other, causing bickering as well as could be some handle situations. Beams over your body parts, like if you're lying in bed and you've got a beam right over your hips and that hip hurts, boom, I would recommend scooting away. Prudent avoidance is my number one thing to do. If not, maybe do a Feng Shui cure. Mirror face up higher than you, pushing the beam away, or hanging a crystal from that beam. Or traditionally there is a health cure. This is a 30 millimeter crystal, but I would get a 50 millimeter crystal and hang it from the center of the bedroom for an overall general health upgrade. Sometimes people say hang it from a 9-inch red ribbon, to add to its intention. So there you go, have at it. Poison arrow. So if a corner of the room is poking straight at you and you're like, ow, get off of me, right? So look around and see if there is a corner of a room that is directly poking at you. You would definitely want to hang a crystal from the ceiling right above that corner if you are constantly in line with a poison arrow, because that will be exacerbating a situation of an energy direct hit from that poison arrow. Locks, handles, knobs, hinges, arguing doors. My last thing is electromagnetic fields. So where's my meter? Since I'm using my phone, I wanted to show you the radio frequencies of it. I have been doing this for a long time, and I have yet to find a person with arthritis that does not have chronic exposure to electromagnetic fields. So that means even if you use a blow dryer, the motor in that blow dryer, you will have an electromagnetic field around it. So I have a tri-field meter that I use. It's just a simple low-key one. I'm not about being as dramatically specific as high-end bowel biologists. I'm just here to point out, we try to do prudent avoidance to get out of the situation. So it has an electromagnetic field reading, it has an electrical field reading, and it has a radio frequency reading. And because I'm using my cell phone to record this, you can see that there is a reading coming from that. And anyway, we want to avoid electromagnetic fields. So anything around you that plugs in, if you're constantly, like a lot of people with arthritis use the heating pad because it helps heat them. But now you're putting yourself in the electromagnetic field or the electrical field that is not serving you. So it's like helping in one way and keeping it going in another way. So use maybe some of those buckwheat, heating things that you just put on like a hot water bottle type thing, the old-fashioned way. I'm telling you, a lot of my stuff is like go low tech. The more low tech you go, the better off you'll be with these high tech issues. If if you have the high tension poles outside, giant electrical power lines going by you, it might be time to call in a bowel biologist. Like I said, I have been doing this for years. I have never had an arthritis person not be like, I just walk in with my meter, I'm like, oh, arthritis, let's find it. Because that's sort of the commonality of this chronic inflammation type situation. Yes, there's foods and all those other things I want to get, I could talk about, but I really want to knock out these basic feng shui, healthy home complaints that can help you with your easing up of the joints, loosening up of the joints. When you're exposed to electromagnetic fields, what happens is your cells start to vibrate, and that vibration causes friction. Friction causes heat. Heat causes dryness. Dryness causes stiffness. Boom, there we are. There's the cycle. So get lubed up, get out of the electromagnetic fields, get away from anything high tech if you can over the most amount of time. No more heating pads, no more heating blankets, no more massage chairs, all those types of things that plug in, no more lounge chairs in the living room. All my arthritis people, they usually have that one chair that they sit in all the time, and there it is. Look where you spend the most amount of time, and I bet you'll find electromagnetic fields in the area. Start avoiding them, and it'll be a big boost to get your body caught up enough to start healing, as opposed to always being in a deficit, trying to just get back to zero. Once you get rid of the electromagnetic fields, do some of these cures, now your body can start to build. Your cells are regenerating all the time. There's no reason why we can't get back there. So good luck with all of your removing of the bad stuff, adding the good stuff of the cures, and I hope I'll see you all lubed up and feeling free and loosened up and handles working on the other side. So those are your feng shui tips for arthritis. I hope they're helpful.